Hey, what's up everybody? Welcome back to another Hard Mode Games video, and today I'm going to be going over my Omni Blue deck that I played in the Bandai event for Top Cut. And you know, this actually got me to 10th place. I got pretty far with it, 6 wins in a row, and then I lost 2. So I did go 6-2 throughout the whole tournament. And you know, I had a really fun time, and it was great to finally get an official Bandai event. Ton of fun to play in. But yeah, this was actually the first tournament that official tournament that we all got to do. And so yeah, this is the blue deck. This is a Blue Omni Turbo Deck. There's a little bit of spice in here. There's some text going on, but for the most part, you know, it's most of your standard Omnimon Turbo Deck with the few small changes. So first up, I've got Zootomon. Zootomon is just to help me get over some of the blockers with Gorillamon. Gorillamon being 6k, Zootomon puts you at 7k if the Digimon does not have any sources. So that will stop people from blocking you. Then next up is pretty much standard, is Upamon. You see this in like pretty much every blue deck. Yeah, this extra card draws are going to be great. They're going to help you, you know, cycle through your deck and get the cards that you really need. And yeah, I mean, pretty much, you know, pretty standard stuff. You're going to want to run 3 of these. Then we have Gabumon, or how we like to call him in the community, Drabumon. Basically, when you play him from hand, you're going to draw a card. Very useful. 1000 DP is a little rough. He's pretty much swinging fodder unless you're going to Evo into him. But great Digimon to swing with. Also helps you cycle through your deck. So I run 3 of these. Then next up, I have the starter deck Gomamons. I'll run 3 of these as well. Starter deck Gabumon, its inheritable effect will let you remove an Evo source from the bottom of one of your opponent's Digimon when attacking, so long as it is level 5 or lower. The 2000 DP isn't going to be really much. You really want it for this inheritable effect. The 3 cost is going to make you want to evolve in the breeding area, and this is to remove sources on those blockers. Just because it will help with the Zootomon when you need it. Also, you know, removing effects can be pretty handy from time to time. And I run 3 of those. All right. Next up, we have Gomamon. This is the starter deck Gomamon. 2 cost to play, 0 cost to Evo, 3000 DP. Really, this 2 cost is the main reason I played it, allowing you to choke your opponent at 1 memory when you really need to. If they have memory tamers, then, I mean, you kind of lose the choke potential there. But if your opponent gives you 2 or more memory, you will be able to play 2 of these. And I run 2 of those for the deck. Elixmon, 2-0, 3000 DP, exactly the same as the starter deck Gomamon. And I run 2 of them. So why do you ask, like, why would I run 2 of each? Simple answer is Omnimon. If for some reason my opponent gives me a lot of memory and I go wide and I'm playing red or blue, I want to make sure that they can't get rid of all of them, so I don't run 4 Elixmon or 4 Gomamon. It kind of lets me spread it out a little bit more evenly, so that way I don't lose 3 or 4 of them, and I would just lose 1 or 2. Maximum would be 2 against an Omnimon Evo. Then we have 4 Gomamon. These Gomamons are from the booster set. With the inheritable effect of gain 1 memory when destroyed or deleted. 3 cost to play, 3000 DP. Very useful, comes in handy with Leoman, who we're going to go over in just a bit. And I run 4 of those. Then we have Leoman. I run 3 of them. I didn't want to really max out on these because there are other champions that I really wanted to make sure made it into the deck. And these are kind of more of support utility cards. 5 cost to play, 2 cost to Evo, 5000 DP. The 2 extra memory gain is going to be very useful for getting out your larger end. And the pairs really well with the Gomamon, giving you 3 memory if you do actually get destroyed. And if you have an Upamon and your opponent has has a Digimon with no evolution sources, then I mean you're gonna get a draw out of it too. So it comes super handy for utility there. So I do run 3 of these. Next up, I have Gorillamon. We see that I have 3 here. I don't run all 4, just because again wanted to make space for other stuff. As much as I love the 1 cost evolution, I just had some other things that I wanted to run. I wanted to make sure I could get those Leomons in there. And the 6000 DP comes in handy, again, for swinging at security early if I really want to. It goes over a lot of things on the lower end, and if you have the Zootomon underneath it, you will be able to swing over blockers if that blocker has no evolution source. And plus, the Upamon swings early can come in handy. And if you survive with Gorillamon, then you're most likely going to be able to swing with that Upamon again. So that's really awesome there. Then next up, we have Garurumon. I run 2 of these. They're 6 cost to play from hand, 2 cost to Evo, 5000 DP, the on-play effect letting you unsuspend one of your Digimon. Really handy. There's very rarely you're going to be playing this from hand, only if your opponent really gives you a ton of memory. Might play one of those 11 cost or 12 cost on play effects Digimon cards, and you kind of use this to counteract. If you have an Omnimon on board, you can technically swing 3 times, and it can come in clutch there, but mostly it's there for the Metal Garurumon. And we'll go over him in just a second. Next, I have Grizzlymon. I'm going to be running 4 of those. Grizzlymons are the blocker for the deck. This is kind of to counteract Rookie Rush here. There are lots of times where Rookie Rush might be seen. Rookie Rush is a budget deck, so it's very cheap, and a lot of people can go ahead and play it, and it's pretty effective for the price that you pay for the deck. So having those blockers available to you, having as many as you can kind of stall out that deck. And let you push forward to go tall. Not only that, it does stop some other Digimon as well. So next up is Garurumon. I run 1 of these. This is just kind of like a tech card. Because this deck does not run a lot of Evo Strip, pretty much the only Evo Strip that we're seeing here are the level 3 Gabumons from the starter deck. I only run 1 of these because I do not want to rely on this too much. The 3 cost for evolution is kind of harsh. 7000 DP doesn't really go over everything either. So I only run 1 of those just in case I get that opportunity that I may be able to swing and get 2 security checks. Then next, the main ultimate for this deck are the Monzamons. These Monzamons are 5 cost to play from hand, 2 cost for evolution, 6000 DP. Really, the DP is not the thing that you want to notice here. The 5 cost to play from hand, 2 cost for evolution are the most important. Sometimes this low cost can skip you or choke your opponent to 1, but skip you to level 5 and then quickly get to Plesiomon or Metal Garurumon if you need it. But you're most likely going to want to go to Plesiomon after this because Metal Garurumon's effect won't be able to activate. So I run 4 of these just to kind of skip or get to, or Evo to level 6 very quickly. So we got 4 Monzamons there. Then next up I have Loaderleomon. So Loaderleomon, there is a 2 of this in this deck. This Loaderleomon can come in handy as well because it is 10,000 DP. Really, that's the big thing here. He's a big hitter. 10,000 DP goes over a majority of things in this game, at least for this meta. So swing with 10,000 DP at your opponent. You're most likely going to clear security, and as well, then you can Digivolve right afterwards if you need the extra DP boost without passing over turn. So yeah, it's also great in security because of the 10,000 DP. Since it goes over a lot of things, that means a lot of things can't go over it. And so if your opponent security checks you and you have this 10,000 DP, you're most likely going to destroy whatever they have. So we've got 2 of those. Let me go ahead and fix up these Monzamons just a little bit. Make some room. Then we've got Zootomon. I run 2 of these. This is a card that I don't want to run too much of. The on-play effect is great. Draw 2 cards when you play it from hand. Downside is it is 7 costs to play from hand. That's pretty expensive, and the 3 cost for evolution is also very expensive. 6,000 DP is very little, so you're not really going to be swinging with this, especially since the inheritable effect, when attacking, if your opponent has a Digimon with no Digivolution cards in play, gain 1 memory. That effect is very good when it comes to Plesiomon or Metal Garurumon. Those, since those are higher DP, those are safer checks to do, and so you're most likely going to get that extra memory when swinging. And plus, if it kind of works well with the Gabumons here, since they do remove Evo sources, kind of guaranteeing this bottom effect a little bit more. And yeah, so the other thing is that on-play effect can come in handy really clutch if your opponent gives you a lot of memory, or even in the beginning of the game, if you have a bricked hand, this could break you out of a brick, but it would give your opponent 7 memory, which is a little bit dangerous, so just keep that in mind. So we're gonna put those 2 Zootomons there. Next up, we're going into the level 6s. We've got the Volcanicdramon. Volcanicdramon, this is a 1-of card. This is just a little bit of spice. It's 10,000 DP, 11 cost to play from hand, 3 to digivolve. Don't even worry about that digivolution cost because you're not going to be digivolving into this. What you're really concerned about is the effect as well as the DP. The 10,000 DP means it's going to be a pretty safe swing at security, but you're going to be mostly playing, or you're going to be entirely playing this from hand. Sometimes you can get a little cheeky with it, and I'll explain in a little bit how I do that. So the security attack +1 means you can do 2 checks. That's pretty sweet, especially since it goes over many things, and this is an Omnimon deck, so you will be able to play Omnimon on top of it after you do your 2 security checks, and then swing for an additional 2 swings the next turn if your Omnimon doesn't get removed from the board. And then also the on play. This is what stops Purple and Rookie Rush a lot. Since Piedmon is very prevalent, Piedmon tends to bring out Devamon and Vilemon, Devamon being 4000 DP. Volcanicdramon's effect is on play, delete all of your opponent's Digimon with 4000 DP or less. This can be a lifesaver. If your opponent is struggling and they're just trying to be very aggressive and play a lot of small Digimon, say like 2000 DP, 3000 DP, 1000 DP, anything like that, or even 4000 DP champions like Wizardmon and Devamon, you just hard drop the Volcanicdramon. Your opponent has to respond to this. They're going to have to remove it off the board because that's 2 security check is going to be very dangerous, as well as an Omnimon that could come after it. So very handy. I only run 1 of these because it's very situational. You generally don't want to give your opponent 11 memory. And then next up is the Plesiomon. We've got 3 Plesiomons here. I don't run the full 4 because I do run a couple other level 6s. But yeah, the big thing here is you can always play this card. It is 10 cost. Even if you're at 0, you can still give your opponent 10. This card is always playable. And then the 2 cost for evolution makes the quick turbo part of the deck happen, in which you would probably go from any of the rookies from the breeding area, or Elixmon or Gomamon from hand onto the board. And then into Gorillamon here for 1 cost, then Monzamon for a 2 cost, and then once again, Plesiomon for a 2 cost. Making evolution very cheap, and 12,000 DP can be pretty devastating. Your opponent most likely doesn't have anything that can beat it in security unless you're playing yellow who's playing TKs, or you're playing another blue or red deck, in which case you do have to worry about opponent's Plesiomons, Phoenixmons, as well as Omnimons. So I run 3 of those. Then next we have Metal Garurumon. This Metal Garurumon can come in handy for quite a few reasons here. 11,000 DP makes the swing at security a little less safe. But the good thing about it is the effect, which is when attacking, play a level 1 or play 1 level 4 or lower Digimon card from that is underneath this card without paying its memory cost. So this comes in super clutch. I run 2 of these in the deck. And there's quite a few things you can do here. So really anything behind where Garurumon here, in front of the Digi-Eggs, you can play when attacking. So most useful cards are the Grizzlymon, just to get another blocker back onto the board. If you have to use your blocker to get to Metal Garurumon, you can always bring them back. The Garurumon lets you restand this Garurumon when attacking security, so that's super helpful, very clutch. Gives you a lot of damage onto your opponent's security, and if you have a Were Garurumon in source and your opponent has a card with no Digivolution cards underneath it, you can swing for 4 security basically, and that can be pretty crazy. You can do 4 check with Metal Garurumon and Garurumon in source, provided you have this Were Garurumon. Which can get you very, very far ahead. And then 11,000 DP, yeah, can get you over some stuff. But also this is a base for Omnimon. All the level 6s in this deck are bases for Omnimon, which is our next card. Here, we've got Omnimon, and we are running 3 Omnimons in this deck. This is a slightly pricey card right now with the pre-release going on, but very useful, almost staple in every red and blue deck. Because of the 15,000 DP, can let you pretty much swing over anything that your opponent has. But also when digivolving, you get to destroy a Digimon. Well, the effect exactly says, choose one of your opponent's Digimon, delete all of your opponent's Digimon that share a name with it. That can be a pretty devastating attack if your opponent decides to put a Digimon or multiple Digimon with the same name on the board. He can clear all of them out at once, as well as swinging twice by returning a level 6 that's underneath it back to your hand. So that can be great combo potential with Volcanicdramon here. Volcanicdramon, like I said before, will let you help clear other things. Plus it's got that 2 check. So if your opponent decides to go wide again, you can play Volcanicdramon once more. It's essentially like having 2, or basically an extra 1 of each of these cards if you get the extra swing off. So it's really nice there. And we run 3. Then next up we have Hammer Spark. We've got 4 of these. Hammer Spark can be a lifesaver. So if you're really good at choking your opponent, which is leaving your opponent at 1 memory, you know, provided you use like Elixmon or Gomamon, really, you can really choke anyone with any card. It's just about how you use your memory is very important. But the Hammer Spark will, if you choke your opponent at 1, the security effect here will essentially move the memory gauge over to your side at 1, which means your opponent's turn gets interrupted and now it becomes your turn. Can come in very clutch in security, but also it can come in clutch on your turn. So it is a 0 cost to play, and if you play it on your turn, you gain a memory. This is very, very important because at minimum, you will always start your turn with 1 memory. That is the big thing here. And why that's so important is because of our friend Monzamon here. If you are at champion, say you're at your Gorillamon, or really any of these champions already at the start of your turn, and you have 1 memory, you can Evo into Monzamon without passing over turn, or, you know, if you're already at level 5s, you can do the same thing with Plesiomon, right? So if you have Monzamon at the start of your turn, loaderleomon, or even Zootomon, and your opponent decides to choke you at 1, you play a Hammer Spark and you can go into Plesiomon, almost doubling your DP with pretty much every one of these ultimates, with the exception of Garurumon and Loaderleomon, which makes it much safer to swing. And then also, because you don't pass your turn, you can, like I said, you can swing. You can swing with the Plesiomon or the Metal Garurumon, which if you have 2 memory, your opponent passes you 2, you can use the Hammer Spark to get you to 3, not pass turn. It's basically a turn extender. You can swing and then evolve into Omnimon, which can be pretty devastating for your opponent. You get a security check plus removal. So very, very strong there. So I do run 4 of these. And then we have Kaiser Nail. Kaiser Nail, this is another bit of spice in the deck. I run only 2. Because you really don't want to clutter your hands with these. But basically what Kaiser Nail lets you do is it lets you play a card from source, your Digivolution stack, for a cost of 4. And you still get its on-play effects, which is fantastic. The security effect is basically the main effect, but you don't pay the cost. So if your opponent decides to attack you, and this is revealed, and say you have a large stack up to Metal Garurumon or something like that, and there's a Plesiomon, and you have Garurumon in the source, and they reveal a Kaiser Nail in your security, you can play that Garurumon and restand your Plesiomon, making him invulnerable to attacks. Say, for instance, if you're playing red and they have DP boosts with Phoenixmon. So it can come in real handy there. And plus, it just gets another body on the board, which can make your opponent start to sweat, because that means more swings, and they need either more blockers or they need more security to kind of survive, or, you know, just have a lucky security or something like that. It really makes your opponent have to second guess what they want to do. And even another cheeky thing you can do is that this works really, really well with Omnimon. So if you have an Omnimon stack and you decide to swing at security, the double attack, and what I mean by the double attack is returning one of the level 6s to your hand to unsuspend Omnimon, is optional. It is completely optional. You do not have to do it. You can be kind of cheeky if you want and just not restand the Omnimon, play the Kaiser Nail, play one of your levels, play the level 6 that's underneath him onto the board, and now your opponent has to deal with 2 level 6s on board. That is one fun thing that you can do. However, so it works really well in the case of Volcanicdramon. So if your opponent decides to go wide again, you just play Kaiser Nail, you play Volcanicdramon for 4, and you can set up another Omnimon. Same goes with these. You can set up for another Omnimon, but ideally, most of the time, what you're going to want to do is play the Kaiser Nail with, you're going to want to swing twice with the Omnimon, bring back the level 6 to your hand. Hopefully it's blue. If it's blue, this is where it works best. So you bring back the level 6 to your hand. Then you Kaiser Nail out, say for instance the level 5, which could be Zootomon, Monzamon, loaderleomon, Garurumon. Most ideal is Zootomon because you do get that extra 2 draws when you play him. And so you reduce his cost by essentially 3 by playing Kaiser Nail. You get the 2 draws, probably pass over turn because 4 memory is a lot of memory. And then your next turn, that level 6 that you grabbed from swinging with Omnimon, say it's Plesiomon or Metal Garurumon, you Digivolve onto the card that you just Kaiser Nailed. And then all of a sudden you're back at a level 6 and you're right behind another Omni. So it's really funny. You can do a lot of cool things with this. I don't think you should run ever. I don't think you should ever run more than 2, but it's fun. But yeah, this is my Blue Turbo deck with, you know, a little bit of spice. I hope you guys enjoyed it. This is something that I've ran for a really long time, back when the BT1 meta was kind of introduced. We didn't have Volcanicdramon, so that is a new tech, but besides that, we pretty much had everything else here. And I pretty much ran the same thing at that time, which was like several months ago. And I'm glad to see that it actually worked pretty decently in the Bandai tournament. And I had a lot of fun with it. So if you guys like this deck, let me know what you think about it. You know, subscribe to the channel, leave a like. I have a lot of fun doing these kind of things, making these kind of funny decks with Kaiser Nails, Volcanicdramons, and you know, I have another kind of silly deck, and let me know what you got if you guys want to see it, because I like doing stuff like this. It's a lot of fun. But yeah, anyways guys, if you enjoyed it, you know, like I said, subscribe, leave a like, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Take care.